Hi, Karen and Simon from I Do Canals.
Where are we today, Karen?
We're on the Dundas Aqueduct, which is on the Kennet and Avon Canal.
And where are we near?
We're near Bath, which is 2 miles that way.
2 miles that way. It's about right, as the crow flies, but it's a much prettier journey if you go by boat, but it's about 5.5, 6 miles. Anyway, you had something else to say, didn't you?
Yes, I'd like to dedicate this video for Remembrance Sunday for all our fallen soldiers who fought in World War I and World War II and all our active soldiers of today.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. We both had grandfathers who fought in the war and grandmothers who were in the auxiliaries and all sorts. I think all of our grandparents survived the war, didn't they?
They did, yep.
Thankfully. And they led full lives as well and natural things. They passed away by natural things. So anyway, I think that's a beautiful dedication. I don't think that could have been any nicer. So we'd like to say a really huge thank you from both of us to everybody who's serving today and everybody who's served and fallen in the past. So, Dundas Aqueduct. This is what's here behind us. We're going to talk about that. We're going to have a good look around. We're going to talk about who built it, when they built it, what happened to it, and what's happening to it now. Come on, come with us. This way.
Come on.
The aqueduct was designed by John Rennie and his chief engineer, John Thomas, between 1797 and 1801, and construction was completed in 1805. It was named after Charles Dundas, and he was the first chairman of the Kennet and Avon Canal Company. And Charles Dundas and the board insisted to John Rennie and John Thomas that it be built out of Bath stone. Bath stone looks fantastic, but it's not the best thing to build an aqueduct out of. Water finds a way, and by 1954, beset with leaks, the aqueduct had to close. John Rennie had wanted to build it out of engineering bricks. I don't think it would have looked as good, but it probably would never have closed, at least because of the leaks. I think, you know, as the canals fell into decline, the canal itself, the Kennet and Avon Canal, closed down, and as we know from our Cane Hill Locks video over in Devizes, it reopened again, just before 2000. No, it's earlier than that, was it? It was 1991. Get your facts right, Simon. 1991. Now then, as we look at this, the big arch across the middle here is 64 feet wide, and the two elliptical arches on the side are both 20 feet wide. And when you look at the elliptical archways here, it looks like the ellipse runs beneath the ground and continues round in that big kind of egg shape, if you like. You'd have to dig down in the path underneath there to find this out, and I don't think we're going to be allowed to do that, so we won't bother with that. Anyway, stonemasons were brought from far and wide, not just locally, to build this. This was going to be a spectacular aqueduct, and it had to be done properly. So stonemasons from all over here. We're going to go and take a look at some of the stonemasons' marks chiselled into the stones, and there's lots and lots of different ones, as each one made his own mark on his work here, made perhaps as an advertisement to say, hey, look, I'm really cool, come and look at my work, and then I'll come and build this for you. That's probably how it worked. This is the River Avon flowing underneath, and the Avon River and the canal meander pretty much together for about 5.5, 6 miles until they come into Bath Centre. Bath Centre is that way, about 2.5 miles as the crow flies. There's beautiful pathways all the way through. There's a railway line which you can't see from here. We'll get a little glimpse of that on the drone. And over the far side, beyond the other elliptical arch over there, is a fourth archway, under which the railway ran. Great Western Railway lowered the railway tracks so that big freight trains could run through there as well. That's pretty forward thinking of them, isn't it? Anyway, let's go take a look. There's lots to see, there's lots to do. The weather's great. Last week it was hideous. Hideous weather. We got so wet. We have to go back to Foxton Locks at Market Harborough and film it again because it was absolutely dire. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the aqueduct. Come on, come with me. There's loads of the mason's marks all over, ranging from a diamond with a short stem beneath it, a reverse of that one with a line crossed through it. There's V's. This one here looks very similar to that one over there, except it's got a cross through the stem and like an arrow fletching underneath it, basic triangle. There's some other carvings in here as well. I think we've got some graffiti. There's a star here, 6-pointed star, and somebody's carved their initials in. I don't think that's a stonemason's mark. I think it's almost the obligatory graffiti. There's some over there that somebody's done with a marker pen, but we're not going to look at that. Horrible. Right, stonemason's mark here, another one here. This is like 6 pointed stars and a 5-pointed star underneath it. There's like a star here, but I think this might be graffiti also. There's a letter B here, which is reversed or upside down, depending on how you look at it. Not sure that that's a stonemason's mark. I think that might be graffiti as well. It might be old graffiti. You know, there are cases of graffiti from Roman times, so who's to know? Anyway, so we're inside one of the 20-foot wide elliptical arches, and it's beneath this. My theory is that the arch continues down. We'll never know. Maybe if we get hold of some historical documents on how it was built, we might find something out, but hey, we'll see what happens. Let's carry on. So the aqueduct is 150 yards long, perfectly wide enough to take a nice wide beam boat. Below us is the River Avon, and the main span of the aqueduct is 64 feet wide. There are two narrower spans, arches, either side, each of which are 20 feet wide, and they're beautiful, tall, elliptical arches. They look as if the arch goes down into the ground. I don't know if they were built that way or not, so don't ask me, I don't know. At the far end over there, we have Brass Knocker Basin, and turning right, you follow the Kennet and Avon Canal on into Bath, and then the River Avon, and then into Avonmouth, should you want to go that far. To the left is the last remaining segment of the Somerset Coal Canal. It's only a few hundred yards long, and today the stretch of canal there is private mooring. Along the far end, there's a car park a bit lower down, and then up by the canal side, you've got a nice cafe, Angel Fish Cafe. There's some public loos and other bits and pieces that you may find of interest down there. So we're now going to go and have a look at the far end of Brass Knocker Basin, because there is Ackerman's crane. And it doesn't work, but we'll go and have a good look at that, and there's some history about that too. We'll go and see that now. This crane is Ackerman's crane, and it was built by the firm Ackermans of Bristol. And they were in one of the wharfs all the way in Broad Street Quay. They ceased to trade in 1842, and this crane was moved here much later on in 1894. And it was used to shift things like these blocks of stone on and off of boats. traversing up and down the canal and taking it into London and back and so on forth. Unfortunately, the crane is no longer in usable condition. Many of the parts were taken away during World War II and used for the manufacture of tanks and other munitions and such like. But it still stands here today, and it's an impressive thing to come and see. And it's kind of a feature here of Brass Knocker Basin. What a shame it's not working. I'd love to see something. It was manually done. It was manually cranked to lift up these great big, I don't know what this weighs. That's got to weigh a ton. You know, the one at the far end looks a bit bigger, 1.5 tons, I'm guessing. I don't know. But cranking a handle and swinging it around on and off of boats, that must have been great. I like a slightly more leisurely lifestyle. But fair play and kudos to the chaps that did all of that way back then. They were really hard-working people. If you worked on the narrowboats, you didn't stop. 12-hour days were pretty short. You usually did more than that. And in the summer when you worked all of the daylight, you did the lot. Beyond the crane, we've got Brass Knocker Basin boaters facilities. You can empty your cassette toilet in there. It smells lovely when you walk past. And there's water point. You can fill up your water tank. There's washing facilities inside as well. You need a key, of course. We've come to the end of our day at Dundas Aqueduct. It's getting dark. It's not even 5 o'clock yet. What time does it get dark?
About 4:45, 5 o'clock.
Autumn. It's here with a thump. Mind you, we've had some stunning autumnal colours all the way around the hillside behind. Golds, oranges, yellows. Fantastic. Anyway, so we're going to finish off here today, but before we go, where are we going next?
We're going to go to Foxton Locks, Stoke Bruin and the Hatton Flight.
Ooh, the Stoke Bruin and the Hatton Flight, which is near Hatton, not far from Birmingham, both on the Grand Union Canal, and the Foxton Locks is the only double 5-rise locks in the UK, and it's on the Grand Union Canal Leicester line, not far from Market Harbour. We went there last week. We tried to do that, didn't we? But what happened?
We got washed out.
We got absolutely soaked. We managed to do some filming, and the outro at the end. Karen looks so pathetic. Here it is. Right. Here we go.
Take 26.
We're like a couple of drowned rats. It's that kind of rain that just hangs in the air, and you just get soaked through. And Karen's coat ain't waterproof. This is Bridge 61. The pub, Bridge 61, is that way. About 60 yards. It's full. No room. Poor Karen. I mean, she couldn't get in. Right? It's standing room only in there. There is no room at the inn. So, we're going to say goodbye for now. And we'd like you to subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe to it. Hit the button below. What else do we want them to do?
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.